Another girl? Another girl again? Tell them, go on! Achi, not you, I tell you. Tell everybody how you have failed me for the 4th time. I'm talking to you, and you are still standing there. What exactly have you offered this house? You don't work. You don't do anything. You just sit here and give birth like a madwoman. Girl after girl after girl. First daughter, second daughter, third daughter, and now another one is loading.
Look at them. 3 daughters. Beautiful girls. But who will carry my name? A whole Chief Emeritus Nwanike? A titled man like me? No son? Is this what I married? A wife or a factory for producing girls?
Please, it's not my fault. I'm not the one that gives children.
Enough!
Now you are talking, my son. Didn't I warn you? When a palm tree refuses to bear fruit, you don't keep watering it. You cut it down and plant another one.
This woman did not come here to build your family. She came here to open a girls' hostel. By now, this compound should have been full of boys running around with catapults. Instead, every corner is plaiting hair and playing 10-10. My son, if daughters could carry your title, I would have fought against you. But can any of these girls become Chief Nwanike tomorrow? No! All they will do is grow up, marry another man's son, and change their surname. The money spent on baby showers, the years, the pregnancies, and all she has ever produced is a choir. Send her away. I will go to my village myself. I will bring you a woman whose womb knows the difference between an heir and an excuse.
Take your things. Take your daughters. Why? And that one you are carrying. And leave. Get out of my house.
Amara held her stomach. Her unborn child moved inside her. She closed her eyes, not because she was weak, but because she was making a decision. She bent down slowly and held Adora's hand. Come. Her voice was shaking, but she stood straight. The girls looked at their father, then back at their mother. Because children always hope their parents will fix things, they always believe love will win. But that day, their mother was the only one protecting them. Amara entered the house one last time, not to fight, not to beg, not to make a scene. She simply packed what belonged to her, the clothes, the few personal items, and when she saw the pictures on the wall, the pictures of the life she thought she had, she stood there for a long moment. Because a person does not only lose a house, sometimes they lose the future they imagined inside it. Then she walked out, with 3 daughters beside her, Adora on her left, Ugochi on her right, little Chidera in her arms, and another child still growing inside her. Heavily pregnant in front of everyone, with nothing but her children and whatever was left of herself. The gate closed behind her, and Chief Emeritus Nwanike stood in the middle of his big decorated compound. His guests who didn't know where to look, his mother who was already nodding with satisfaction, his red cap on his head, believing he had won something, not knowing he had just lost everything. Stop! Before you judge what you just watched, before you call Chief Nwanike a monster, before you ask how a man could stand in front of his own wife and do what he just did, you need to understand one thing. That was not the day Chief Nwanike lost his family. No. That was the day he planted the seed of his own downfall. Because sometimes, the people we push away are the very people God sends to lift us when everything falls apart. And sometimes, the blessing you spend your whole life searching for is standing right in front of you, but pride is too loud for you to see it. Chief Emeritus Nwanike had everything a man could desire: a respected name, a powerful title, a home people admired, and a woman who loved him with everything she had. But there was one thing he wanted more than anything else: a son. And that one desire would become the very thing that destroyed everything he built. But before we get to the destruction, let me take you back. Back to before the insults, before the tears, before a woman who once had everything was forced to start her life again with nothing but her children and her faith. Because every fall has a beginning, and this one began with a love story. A love story nobody knew would end in betrayal. Before Chief Emeritus Wanike became the man people would later whisper about, there was Amara. And if you had met Amara before that day, you would never have imagined her life would reach that point. Because Amara was not a woman waiting for someone to come and save her. She was already building, literally. Amara dealt in building materials, and not the kind of business where you open a shop, sit down, and wait for customers to find you. No. This was cement dust under your fingernails, waking up before sunrise to meet suppliers, standing under the afternoon heat, counting bags of cement and checking iron rods, while men twice her age looked at her like she had no idea what she was doing. But Amara knew exactly what she was doing. She was the only child of her parents, not because they didn't want more children. Life simply gave them one, and they poured everything they had into her. Her father used to say, raising Amara is like planting a tree. You may not see the shade immediately, but one day, people will sit under it. And Amara carried those words everywhere she went. Her parents were not wealthy. They didn't have connections that could open doors. They didn't know powerful people who could hand her opportunities. But they gave her something else. Discipline, honesty, and the unshakable belief that she could become something. So when Amara entered the building materials business, many people were surprised. Some laughed. Some told her it was too stressful. Some asked her the question that annoyed her every single time. Are you sure you can handle this kind of business? Amara never argued. She simply smiled, then she walked. Her shop sat along one of the busy streets where contractors and property developers moved every day. At first, it was not impressive. A small space, a few stacks of cement arranged neatly, some iron rods leaning against the wall, roofing materials stacked carefully at the front. Nothing that would make anyone stop and say, this woman will go far. But Amara saw something different. She didn't see a small shop. She saw a foundation. She spent months learning everything she could. She visited construction sites. She asked questions. She followed suppliers. She studied which brand of cement held better, which iron rods contractors trusted, which suppliers delivered on time, and which ones smiled beautifully and disappeared. Some men laughed when they saw her taking notes. They thought she was just curious. They didn't know she was building. Every receipt was kept. Every transaction was recorded. And if Amara told you something was good quality, best believe it was good quality. If she told you not to buy something, you listened. That reputation is not built in a day. It is built in the small, honest decisions that nobody is watching. And slowly, people started coming back. One contractor told another. One customer brought a friend. Go to Amara. She won't cheat you. Go to Amara. She knows what she's doing. The girl people had doubted was becoming the woman people respected. And her father, he would sit at the shop sometimes, just watching, just taking it all in. The daughter he had planted like a tree was becoming a shade. That girl is not waiting for anyone to save her, he would tell people. She knows how to stand on her own. Amara had her parents' love. She had a business that was beginning to stand. She had a future she was genuinely excited about. She was not looking for a man to give her an identity. She already had one. And then, one afternoon, Chief Manike walked into that shop. He did not come looking for a wife. At least, that was what he believed. Chief Emeritus Manike was already a man people noticed when he entered the room. Respected, titled, a man whose name carried weight in his community. When he walked into meetings, people stood. When he spoke, people listened. The red cap on his head was not just clothing. It represented everything he had achieved, his family name, his position, his legacy. He had come that afternoon to purchase materials for one of his building projects. He expected the usual, someone rushing to impress him, someone changing their tone because a titled man had walked in. But when he entered Amara's shop, she simply looked up from her records and greeted him. "Good afternoon, sir. How may I help you?" That was it. No excessive excitement, no performance, just calm, grounded respect. Chief Wanike noticed. When he mentioned a particular material he wanted, Amara paused. "Sir, if you use this for this type of structure, you may spend more money repairing it later. I would suggest this instead." He just looked at her. Many people would have told him exactly what he wanted to hear. But this woman had chosen honesty over profit. Before he left that day, he found himself asking questions that had nothing to do with building materials. He came back the next day and the day after. He told himself it was because he had more projects, but deep down, he knew the truth. It was Amara. The way she handled difficult customers without losing her calm. The way she was firm without being harsh. The way she was building something quietly, steadily, without needing anyone to applaud her. Most people around Chief Wanike knew him because of his title, but Amara knew him as a customer who needed good materials, nothing more, nothing less. And strangely, that was exactly what made him want to know her more. One day, he finally said what he had been coming to say.
Amara, I don't want your cement. I want you.
The courtship that followed was everything. He was attentive, he was consistent. He made her feel like the most important person in any room they entered together. Her parents liked him. Her father shook his hand and nodded the way fathers nod when they have decided a man is acceptable. Her mother watched him quietly and said only 2 words. "He seems..." A sentence she never finished because even herself couldn't just place the feeling. A word Amara would only understand years later. When Chief Wanike finally proposed, he told Amara he admired her. He told her he was proud of the woman she had become.
I don't want a wife who disappears into my shadow. I want a partner.
He wanted a partner.
A woman who will stand beside me.
him. And those words meant everything to Amara. Their wedding was beautiful. And on that day, her father held her hands and said, Never forget the woman you are."
The woman
Amara
you are.
smiled. She believed she never would. But marriage has a way of changing things. Sometimes slowly. Sometimes so gently you don't even realize it is happening. A few months into the marriage, Chief Wanike sat across from her one evening and said it simply, the way men say things they have already decided.
Amara, you don't need to go back to that shop.
But you are
I
Chief
love my
Wanike's
business.
wife now. What will people say?
You are Chief Wanike's
At
wife now.
first, Amara resisted.
What will people say?
She loved her business. She loved what she had built. Those customers were not just customers. They were people who had watched her journey. But he kept reassuring her. You have worked enough. You don't need to struggle like this anymore. And because Amara loved him, because she trusted him, because she believed marriage meant 2 people supporting each other, she made a decision. A decision she thought was love. She closed the shop, handed over the keys, walked away from the business her father had watched her build with both eyes, walked away from the reputation that had taken years to grow, walked away from the version of herself that didn't need anybody's permission to exist. She told herself it was a new season. She believed she was making room for love. She didn't know she was making room for something else entirely. When Amara discovered she was pregnant, the entire house changed. Chief Wanike told everyone who cared to listen. His mother began talking about family names and legacy. Nobody said it directly at first, but Amara could feel it. The expectation sitting in every room, the silent prayer on everyone's lips. A son. Please, God, a son. But Amara didn't think too much about it. To her, a child was a blessing. Boy or girl, she just wanted her baby to be healthy. The day she gave birth, the family waited anxiously, and then the news came. A baby girl. A beautiful, healthy baby girl. Amara held that tiny hand for the first time and cried. Not tears of disappointment, tears of pure, overwhelming love. Chief Wanike came into the room. He smiled. He carried the baby. He looked at her. But Amara noticed something small. The excitement was quieter than it should have been. His mother came. She forced a smile. She congratulated them. But before she left, she said only 2 words. Next time. As if this child was not the celebration. As if this child was just a rehearsal. Amara ignored it. She named her daughter Adora, daughter of the people, because to Amara, her daughter was not a disappointment, she was a gift. The second pregnancy came 2 years later, and the atmosphere in that house shifted completely. Chief Wanike's prayers became louder. His mother's visits became more frequent. Old women came from the village with herbs and advice. Sleep on your left side. You should eat this. Pray facing east. As if the gender of a child was something Amara was choosing on purpose. As if she was deliberately bringing girls to offend them. Amara endured it because she still believed, because she still hoped. But when the second baby came, another daughter. Another beautiful, perfect girl. Chief Wanike looked away, not at his daughter, not at Amara, just away. She is fine, he said. Not beautiful, not a blessing, fine. Like she was a situation he was just managing. His mother did not come into the room at all. She sat outside, and when a relative brought her the news, she closed her eyes, took a long breath and said, God is still on the throne. Meaning, there is still another chance. Meaning, this one doesn't count at all. Meaning, try again. Amara heard it from the bed where she was still recovering. She said nothing. She pulled her daughter closer and she named her Ugochi, God's pride, because in Amara's eyes, that was exactly what she was. After the second daughter, something changed in that house. Not dramatically, not with a big fight, just quietly, the way seasons change. Chief Wanike started making small comments like, maybe you should pray harder next time.
Maybe you
we
should pray
need to
harder
do
next
things
time.
differently.
2 girls,
already. He never shouted, not yet, but every word left a mark. His mother stopped hiding her disappointment.
My son needs a son. My family name cannot end here.
And Amara, the woman who had once negotiated with difficult suppliers without losing her composure, was now swallowing her pain again and again and again. Because she had learned something about this marriage. Sometimes the loudest pain does not come from the person insulting you. Sometimes it comes from the people slowly making you feel like you are not enough. The third pregnancy arrived, and by now, Amara understood. This was not just about a baby. This was about a verdict. Everyone was watching. Everyone was waiting. The prayers were desperate. The expectations were suffocating. And when the third baby came, another girl, the house went quiet. Too quiet. Chief Wanike did not shout. He did not cry. He simply became a different man. He started spending less time at home. The laughter that used to fill their house became very rare. And the worst part, the girls noticed. Children always notice. They may not understand difficult situations or adult conversations, but they could feel when love begins to feel different. Adora, the oldest, would run to the door when her dad came home, expecting him to lift her the way he used to. Sometimes he did, sometimes he walked past. And every single time, Amara's heart broke a little more. Because she was not only watching her husband disappear, she was watching her daughters begin to wonder if they were loved. But Amara refused. She refused to let the disappointment of adults become the identity of her children. Every morning she reminded them, You are special. You are enough. You are a blessing. She named the third daughter Chidera, God has written. Because by then, Amara understood something. Whatever was happening in this house, God had already written a different story, but she just couldn't see it yet. The fourth pregnancy was different from all the others, not because the pregnancy itself was difficult, but because of what it carried with it. By now, nobody was pretending anymore. Chief Wanike spoke openly about his legacy, about his name, about what people would say. His mother visited often, not to check on Amara, but to remind her son of what still needed to happen. One afternoon, while Amara sat arranging baby clothes, her mother-in-law walked in and looked at the tiny
4
garment.
pregnancies.
She sighed.
4 chances.
4 pregnancies, she said. Amara looked
4
up. She already
pregnancies.
knew where this was going.
4 chances.
4 chances. The older woman continued.
Your husband is a respected man. A man like him cannot leave behind only daughters.
Amara said nothing because she had learned that some people don't listen. They simply wait for their turn to speak. So she swallowed her pain and she prayed, not for a boy, for strength, for her baby to be healthy, for the man she married to remember who she was, the same woman who built a business from nothing, the same woman who sacrificed her dreams because she believed in their marriage. But hope can be painful when it is placed in the wrong hands. Chief Wanike organized the gender reveal himself. Everything, the venue, the decorations, the guests, the food, he chose the cake personally. He told everyone this was a celebration, a big one, because this time he was very certain. He had prayed, he had fasted. This time around, God would not embarrass him. The morning of the event, Amara sat in front of her mirror. She was heavily pregnant, tired in the deep quiet way of a woman who has been holding everything together for too long. She thought about her father, his words at her wedding.
Never forget
the woman you are. She thought about her shop, the cement dust, the early mornings, the customers who trusted her, the version of herself that didn't need anyone's permission to exist. She sat with those thoughts for a long time. Then she stood up, adjusted her outfit, and went downstairs to attend a party that was supposed to celebrate her child, but was really about something else entirely. Now, the compound of Chief Emeritus Wanike was decorated beautifully, the kind of decoration that announces importance before anyone steps through the gate. Chairs arranged neatly, flowers placed carefully, a long table of food, and in the center of it all, a cake, white and tall and waiting. Inside that cake was the answer: blue for a boy, pink for a girl. Family members arrived in their best outfits, friends came with smiles and gifts, neighbors whispered excitedly. Everyone had come expecting joy. And standing in the middle of it all was Amara, a woman who had spent the last 9 months carrying more than a baby. She had carried expectations, pressure, silent judgment, but she still smiled. Because that was who Amara was. The woman who protected everyone else's happiness even when she was hurting. Beside her stood her 3 daughters. Adora, her firstborn, holding onto her mother's dress. Ugochi standing quietly beside her, and little Chidera playing around, too young to understand why some adults looked at her mother differently. To them, this was simply a very happy day. They were waiting to know if they would have a baby brother or a baby sister. They did not know that some people in that gathering had already decided that one answer was acceptable and the other was not. Chief Wanike arrived dressed proudly, the red cap on his head, his traditional outfit perfectly arranged, the confidence of a man who believed everything around him belonged to him. People greeted him, they praised him, they called him Chief, and he smiled extravagantly. Behind that smile was a question he had carried for so long. Would this finally be the child that continued his name? The moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. The announcement was made. The crowd went silent. Phones came out. People leaned forward. Amara held her breath. And then the words came out. It's a girl! For a second, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The smile on Amara's face slowly changed. Not because she was unhappy, but because she already knew what those words meant for her husband. She turned towards Chief Wanike and she saw the exact moment something in him broke. Not cracked, broke. He stood there quietly for a moment. Then he laughed. Not a happy laugh, a bitter laugh. The kind of laugh that makes a room very uncomfortable. And then he picked up the microphone. Another girl?
Another
The
girl?
crowd became still.
Another girl again?
Another girl again? Amara looked at him, confused, embarrassed, afraid. He walked closer, shoved the microphone into her trembling hands. Tell them. Tell everybody how you have failed me for the fourth time. Amara's lips parted. Chief. But before she could say anything, I'm talking to you and you are still standing there. And with one angry movement, he turned to that gender review cake. The same cake whose pink center had just given him the answer he did not want, and pushed it to the floor. It crashed onto the ground. Pink icing scattered across the tiles. The children jumped. Gaps filled the room. After the first daughter, he pointed at Adora. After the second, he pointed at Ugochi. After the third, his eyes moved to Chidera. And now, he pointed at Amara's stomach. Another one?
A whole
Chief
Emeritus
Wanike. He
a
touched the
titled
red
man
cap
like
on his
me.
head.
No
A
son?
titled man like me. No son? Even my driver has 2 sons. At this rate, should I change my name to Chief Father of Daughters? Nobody laughed because everyone could feel the cruelty behind it. He pointed at his daughters.
Look at them. 3 daughters.
Beautiful
girls.
girls. But who will carry my name? Who will sit where I sit? Who will continue what I built? He shook his head. Look at your mates. Some women are helping their husband build businesses. But you? Your only achievement is producing daughters every few years. Every 2 years, another pink wrapper. Even the people selling baby clothes know the color you will buy before you enter their shop. Then he said the words that cut deeper than
Is this what I married?
Else.
A wife?
Is this what I married?
Or a factory
wife
for producing
or a factory
girls?
for producing girls. Amara broke down. Please.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
I'm not the one that
I'm
gives
not the one
children.
that gives children. And for a moment, everyone thought maybe he would calm down. But Chief Manike only became colder. Enough! Then a voice came from behind the crowd. A voice Amara had heard many times before. A voice that had never truly accepted her. Everyone turned. It was Chief Manike's mother. She stepped forward slowly, looking almost satisfied.
Now you are talking, my son.
Now you are
Didn't I
talking, my
warn you?
son.
When a palm tree
Amara's heart
refuses to bear
sank
fruit,
because
you don't keep
deep
watering
down
it.
she knew the humiliation from her husband was painful, but the approval from his mother made it worse. The older woman looked at Amara, the woman who had entered this family with love, the woman who had served them, the woman who had given birth to 3 children and was carrying another, and she shook her head. Didn't I warn you? You don't blame the soup when the salt has finished. This one has finished giving what she has now. Since she entered this house, all I hear is congratulations, it's a girl. My son, when yam refuses to grow, do you keep watering the same mound? No, you dig another one. This woman did not come here to build your family.
Not come here
she
to
came
build
here
your
to
family.
open a girls' hostel.
She came here to
She
open a
looked
girls'
at the
hostel.
3 little girls.
By now,
this compound should have been full of boys running around with catapults.
Instead, every corner is
placing hair and playing 10-10. Then, she delivered the statement that would stay in Amara's mind for years. My son, if daughters could carry your title, I would have fought this battle against you.
But can any of these girls
become Chief Wanike tomorrow? She paused, then answered herself.
No!
All they will do is grow up,
marry another man's son, and change their surname. The money spent on baby showers,
the pregnancies, the pregnancies,
all these years, and all she has ever produced is a choir.
Amara finally couldn't hold it anymore. The tears fell, not because she was ashamed of her daughters, never, but because the people who were supposed to protect them were the ones making them feel unwanted. The mother-in-law looked at her son. Send her away.
Send her away.
I will go to my village myself. I will bring you a woman whose womb knows the difference between an heir and an excuse. Nobody spoke, not because they agreed, But because sometimes people go silent when something has gone too far. The music had stopped. The laughter was gone. The celebration had become something nobody wanted to witness. Chief Manike looked at Amara, and this time there was nothing in his eyes. No memory of the woman who had closed her shop for him. No reminder of the promises he made. No recognition of the mother of his children standing in front of him. Only pride, full-blown pride. Get out. His voice was low, but it carried through the entire compound. Take your things.
Take your daughters.
Take your daughters.
Why?
And that's one you are carrying. And leave. Get out of my house. Amara held her stomach. Her unborn child moved inside her. She closed her eyes, not because she was weak, but because she was making a decision. She bent down slowly and held Adora's hand. Come. Her voice was shaking, but she stood straight. The girls looked at their father, then back at their mother. Because children always hope their parents will fix things. They always believe love will win. But that day, their mother was the only one protecting them. Amara entered the house one last time, not to fight, not to beg, not to make a scene. She simply packed what belonged to her, the clothes, the few personal items. And when she saw the pictures on the wall, the pictures of the life she thought she had, she stood there for a long moment. Because a person does not only lose a house, sometimes they lose the future they imagine inside it. Then she walked out with 3 daughters beside her, Adora on her left, Ugochi on her right, little Chidera in her arms, and another child still growing inside her. Heavily pregnant in front of everyone, with nothing but her children and whatever was left of herself. The gate closed behind her, and Chief Emeritus Manike stood in the middle of his big decorated compound. His guests who didn't know where to look, his mother who was already nodding with satisfaction, his red cap on his head, believing he had won something, not knowing he had just lost everything. But what happens to a woman when the man who was supposed to protect her becomes the very thing she has to survive? What happens when a woman who built something from nothing once is left with nothing again? Does she break? Does she beg? Does she disappear? Or does she remember who she was before she found her? Amara's story is not over. And I promise you, the woman who just walked out of that gate is not the same woman you will meet on the other side of her pain. So to find out what happens next, kindly subscribe and turn on your notifications bell so you don't miss out on part 2. Until next time, stay with me.